All right, let's talk about a skill that's, well, rapidly becoming essential for pretty much everyone: how to actually talk to an AI and get it to give you what you want. You've been there, right? You ask an AI for a little help, maybe with an email or to brainstorm an idea, and what you get back is just so generic, it's completely useless. It's an incredibly common and, let's be honest, super frustrating experience. And this is the absolute core of the problem. A vague prompt like, help me write an email, is always going to get you a useless answer because you're forcing the AI to guess. Here's the secret. It's not that the AI is bad at helping. It's that we're often bad at asking. The issue isn't a bad AI, it's a bad ask. But the good news is we are going to fix that right now. Because learning how to prompt an AI is a simple, learnable skill that completely unlocks its real power. So what are we really talking to here? Well, in the simplest terms, an AI is a giant pattern matcher. It's basically read a huge portion of the internet, and its main skill is just predicting the next most likely word in a sentence based on all the patterns it's learned. You can kind of think of it like a superpowered autocomplete, but for whole ideas. But here is the single most important thing you need to understand. An AI is not an independent thinker. It has zero awareness of you or your context unless you give it that context. The AI only knows what you tell it. Your instructions directly shape the results. It's that simple. And that instruction we give it, it's called a prompt. It's just what you type into the box. It can be a question, a command, or even a whole paragraph. And the rule of thumb is easy. The clearer the instruction, the clearer the result. So if the prompt is the key, how do we get really good at it? Let's break down the fundamentals of what makes a perfect prompt. This is what I like to call the golden rule of prompting. AI is literal, not intuitive. See, unlike a person, it can't rely on unspoken context or that shared understanding we have with each other. It needs everything spelled out. And that's exactly why a weak answer almost always comes from a weak, unclear prompt. So how do we give it those clear, literal instructions? Well, we just follow this simple recipe. A great prompt has 5 core ingredients. You give the AI a role, a specific task, the necessary context, a desired format, and a specific tone. Now, let's zoom in on that first ingredient, role. This is a total game changer. When you tell an AI to act as A, you dramatically narrow its focus from the entirety of everything it knows down to just the information relevant to that specific role. Without a role, the AI is just guessing. With a role, it performs like an expert. Okay, so that's the theory. Now let's see how this whole recipe actually works with a real-world example. Check this out. Here's a solid starting prompt. You can see the ingredients, right? We assigned a role, friendly tour guide, which also sets the tone. We gave it a clear task, describe Paris. We added some context for a first-time visitor, and we specified a format, 3 bullet points. This is already miles ahead of just asking, tell me about Paris. But we can actually make it even better with just one tiny refinement. You see, AIs love constraints. By simply adding a word count, we gain even more control over the final output. And that one tiny change makes all the difference. Without that word count, you might get a long, rambling answer that you have to sift through. But by adding that simple constraint, you get a perfectly concise and useful response, delivered exactly how you asked for it. So, that's how we handle creative tasks. But what about something that requires logic? Let's try this classic riddle. Now, both humans and AI often get this wrong on the first guess. The intuitive but incorrect answer is 10 cents. So how do we get the AI to reason correctly? You won't believe it, but it's one simple phrase. Think step by step. This technique, it's actually known as chain of thought prompting, and it forces the AI to slow down and show its work. Instead of just jumping to a conclusion, it has to lay out its logic, which dramatically improves its accuracy on problems just like this. So we've seen how to go from a vague idea to a valuable, super precise answer. Let's just summarize the key lessons so you can start experimenting on your own. Here are the most common traps to avoid. Number 1, being too vague. Number 2, assuming the AI knows what you mean, it doesn't. 3, using a single sentence for a really complex request. And this last one, this is a big one, giving up after the first answer. Because this is the most important mindset shift you can make. Prompting isn't about getting it perfect on the first try. It's a conversation. You have to guide the AI. If the first answer isn't quite right, just tell it what to change. Literally say, make it shorter, make it funnier, or rewrite this for a beginner. And to make it even easier, just use this go-to template. Seriously, just fill in the blanks for role, task, context, format, and tone. This simple structure is your key to getting great results for pretty much any request you can dream up. So you now have the framework to turn AI from a frustrating little toy into a genuinely powerful assistant. The only thing left to do is for you to try it. So the only question left is this. Now that you have the key to move past all those frustrating generic answers, what problem are you going to solve first?